Hey fam, Swati kคนคร P-Nick here. First and foremost, thank you for joining me. I think this is the closest I've come right on the dot to going live, and I hope that you're here with me, and I'm glad that you're here, if you are here. And if you're watching later, that's okay. It's always appreciated, anybody that watches any of my videos live or later. Now, depending on how this video performs, I might be going back to recorded unboxings just because I want more people to be able to see it. And I think some people might feel intimidated by a live stream. So that's something I'll have to test, of course. But thank you for being here. Now, I just want to make sure that you are live. Of course, there is a bit of a delay because I have transcription turned on for English at least, to make sure as many people can at least, if they don't understand my voice, they can at least see the transcription of what I'm saying. So it does take usually about a minute for Google to catch up, because yes, Google is YouTube, if you're not aware. So we'll give it a second and see if someone else is here. It doesn't show anyone else is live yet, but again, that could be the delay. So I hope everyone has had a good weekend, and no, this isn't Retroid's newest device. This is the RP5, Retroid Pocket 5. So it is Retroid Pocket. So, and then they are not very, shall we say, creative with their names. Retroid Pocket 4, Retroid Pocket 5, and the new one is the Retroid Pocket 6. And they had the Retroid Pocket G2, I believe, which had the other Snapdragon that was built on the same chassis as this, the RP5. All right, Ethan is here. All right. Welcome, buddy. Welcome. All right, so Ethan, this episode is for you, since you did say you wanted to see what it would be like as far as comparing the newest Retroid Pocket 6 to see if it's comparable to the 8300, which, of course, I just did the review for the device, or a device with an 8300 in it, so of course we can do that for you. Now you will see, where did I put it? Did I just move it inadvertently? Did I just move my memory card and not think about it? I'm bad about that sometimes. Or did it stick to my box? Now, my box isn't completely sealed tonight because, well, I had to go to Thai Customs, which I don't normally do. Normally they'll just deliver it and I can pay the tariff when it arrives. However, for some reason, the big tariff importing office I had to go to only for the RP6. So they made me open it at least to show them the boxes that were inside my box. So it has been opened, so I know what's in there. I just haven't opened the actual boxes themselves. And all right, Brainbeat's here too. All right. Great stuff. Glad to have you two here, my two Aussie fellas. All right. So as always, my custom, what are you having to drink tonight? Well, for the live stream, I'm going for another red lemon soda by Sing. Which, I know they call it red lemon, but it doesn't have a lemony flavor to it. I mean, the closest thing I can describe it to, even though it's red lemon, is that it tastes more like an orange. Yeah, I mean, definitely that's something I can test. I mean, they both have the same SoC, so we can maybe have the Thor out and this RP6 out during the live stream of the week next week, and be able to do that. So I wanted to show the RP5 as well today, but now I just had out the memory card. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so there's my memory card that was in this guy. So I've taken it out, and I've also removed the second screen option just for fun tonight to put that on there. I'm sure it'll work, but you know, why not give it a full spin? So let me take a drink here real quick. The only thing I could think of that would cause that brain beat, and Ethan not having a sugar-free pop. That's 2 weeks in a row, young man. You need to get back to sugar-free pop. Just joking. But brain beat, the only reason I could see that potentially being is there's just more area for heat to disperse because the Thor, would be cutting off about, say right here, right? So you got a little bit more space. Maybe the fan's a little bit better. Because of that, maybe it can cool just slightly. Maybe that's where the 1% is coming from. I'm not sure. But again, we can test it on some games. You can recommend some on the Discord server. Since both of you are on the Discord server, let me know what games you want to see tested, of course. And we can do that during the live stream next week. And in the meantime, I can make sure they're on my device and test them out and play them. And we can compare them on my Thor, which I do have around here somewhere. And yeah, let me just enjoy a drink of Sing here real quick. Tastes good as always. All right. So we'll just move that on over here to make it quiet. All right, so this is the RP5. Now, the RP6 is going to look quite similar to this. The original rendering that they had suggested for the RP6 was having 4 buttons down here. Rather than having programmable buttons on the back, they had 2 programmable buttons here, and then they had the back and forward buttons, if I remember correct, or the back and home buttons here. But people complained. So, Retroid, wanting to be customer-centric, offered to go back to something similar to this. So we'll see that it does look similar to this, but obviously they've tried upgrading it, let's hope. But overall, the chassis should look pretty similar. I don't know if, you should be able to see. You can see there, I have the screen protector on here. Went on like butter. Now this is the retro gray model, but one of the things that Retroid does is they also believe in customization, just like the guys over at Trim UI. So I bought a clear back, and I have the clear back installed. I think it looks pretty sharp having the clear back with the retro gray. The other thing that they've done is, because they believe in customization for us, is they let us choose. Do you want D-pad up top, or do you want analog stick up top? Now, I know there are many modern Xbox fans that love having their analog stick up top. I've always been a PlayStation guy, so I prefer my sticks to be parallel rather than offset. But they give us that option from the factory, and I can't think of any other company that has offered your stick orientation, parallel or offset. So they offer offset. So it'll be interesting to see how it is. I wonder if the RP6 can fit in the case grip here that I have for this. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, something like better thermal paste can make that 1 or 2% difference. So I could see that. I'm not brave enough to try to change the thermal paste myself. Their brain beat. You've seen my teardowns. I am not good at tearing down a device. I did it for the Trim UI Smart Pro OS because I bought extra things and I thought it would make interesting content, and because the Mech DIY crew had offered the CrossMix micro SD card, so I thought I'd do a software and hardware upgrade video and comparison video. So if you haven't seen that, if you're watching this later and you haven't seen that, you should watch it, because yeah, it's interesting. I could not finish it live, but I did finish it a day later. Took me, I did 2 hours on the live stream, probably 1 hour based on the teardown, and then probably another 4 or 5 hours trying to get all of the ribbon cables, because the ribbon cables were really tight on the Trim UI Smart Pro OS. So took me a lot of finagling to get it, but I got it. The only thing is they have a special function button that's a slider, and I had to take it apart one last time to get one last ribbon cable just a little snugger, and when I did that, I accidentally broke that. Now, it's not a big deal because that slider function button is not something I've ever used. I just loved that the option is there. So I still love the option is there. It's just I can't use it because I broke it. But yeah, I don't blame you. I would be scared to do it while it's under warranty because obviously you would be 100% for certain voiding your warranty if they received it back and they took it apart and they saw different thermal paste. All right, so this is the RP5. Like I say, I love the contrasting buttons, love the Skittles face buttons. I think it looks really great. And that clear shell, really great. Now, I'm sure I could use that shell if I had purchased the G2 variant, because I believe it does use the same chassis as the RP5. The RP6, because they've added, instead of those face buttons, memory buttons down here, whenever they changed it to have similar buttons like this, they moved them back here as well. Which again, I've never used, but now with this grip case, it makes this device feel close to the Odin 3, in all honesty. Really close to it, because you have really nice ergonomic bumps here. Really makes it comfortable. So it'll be interesting to see what their case is like in here. So without further ado, let's take a look. Now I'm going to be careful about how I lay down my box, because obviously I don't want you to see my address. But made in China. I'm not going to show you the other side, but made in China. So, like I say, I had to open this in front of customs. All right, so let's see what we got. First thing, I don't know if I'll ever use them, but I think it was $3 for 3 lanyards, something like that. And I'm a nerd. I was born in '83, and so I grew up in the late '80s, early '90s. I have always loved lanyards, and I love how they have nice contrasting colors. Black and purple and gray, gray with a little bit of purple and white, and purple with yellow and gray. And I love that we can easily make them snug, like a Wiimote if we want to. So again, $3. You know, if you're in the need of lanyards, Retroid has you covered for $3, like $1 each, and they actually feel really nice. Kind of like shoelace material. Really nice quality. And, you know, of course, the part that goes into the lanyard spots. All right, what else do we got? Well, we got a case, of course, because I had to get the bundle. Yeah, I'm the same way there, Brainbeat. I keep mine on basically 24/7 on my Thor as well. Unless I want to try putting it in my pocket. Now, of course, we get some subdued Retroid pocket here. Okay, and you got some bumps for the face buttons and analog sticks, and they had to make it this way because they've offered, remember, either having the D-pad up top and a thumbstick down below, or D-pad down below and a thumbstick up top. All right, so do we get any branding here? No branding there. Now, they did make this a wrist strap, so again, open it up wide, put it on your wrist if you want, and there you go. There's no hook here, though, to make it the other way, but you can quickly remove it if you know you're never going to use it. Just remove it, right? But we get options with it within the case, and anytime we get any type of customizability, I am all for it. So there we go. And I love that the zipper is the hidden type here. Yeah, well, remember the Thor is a clamshell. This is not a clamshell device. So I think I moved my memory card again. Yes, I did. Let me move that up here. Tell me if you see me move it. That way I don't misunderstand where it is. All right, so they've done something that Retroid hasn't done before, but TrimUI has. So they have this little ribbon cable here, so you can put it down below, put your device in it, and then whenever you're ready, you just grab the ribbon, and it lifts up your device for you. Makes it nice and easy. You have a nice little pocket here for your cable. This is a nice little kind of felty feel to it. It'd be nice if this closed, even if it was like another one and had like a little Velcro. just to keep your cable or whatnot in there, and I keep moving it around. But compared to the others that don't have this, that's a big win. Compared to a lot of the others that don't have the pocket for your cable, big win. So I appreciate that. Now, I see other companies putting this. I'm not really sure why they put that there, but hey, there we go. More dry silica. All right. So now the case is not hard, but it's not soft. It's firm, right? So you can squeeze it, but Dominic, my 2-year-old, could grab it and throw it down the stairs, and I'm confident that it would survive in this case. So it's strong enough that I wouldn't worry about it in that regard. And I'm glad we get the wrist strap that can also be a hand strap if we want it to be. So, you know, flexibility, we don't want it, we can put it away. And like I say, no branding, which is kind of a missed opportunity in that regard, but at least we get a nice little puller there. So yeah, all in all, really nice case. Ooh, piece of foam. I know you're highly interested in the foam protection. All right, so the official grip for the RP6. We'll wait to get into that until after we open the box. The reason for that is I was able to get this in color matching, so I want to show off the color of the device first before we do that, and then turn it upside down so I can grab out the box. Now, the Retroid Pocket. See, they love these little, if you've never had a Retroid Pocket, their cases always have these little graphics on them. Sorry, there we go, you can kind of see there. So, nice. So you do get nice little warnings and stuff, whatnot on this edge. And you do get color options here. So they do offer a lot of colors as well. So I appreciate that. And they do offer, again, D-pad, different orientations, and they do offer different RAM and storage configurations. So unlike the RP5, that was only offered in 8 gigabytes of internal storage with 128 gigabyte, or 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 of internal storage. Now you can get 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128, or 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 of internal storage. So that's a lot of configurations when you figure in we have 5 different colors. We have black, silver, 16-bit, which is the Skittles buttons, orange, and light purple. And then you have 8 gigabyte and 12 gigabytes of RAM options with the other memory storage options. And you get D-pad up top or down below. So that's a lot of configurations that they have enabled us to have. So I'm glad that they're giving us these options. Yes, I think the case is also designed to hold the grip case, but we'll find out after we get this open. All right, so let's take off the plastic. Try not to be a savage and, you know, try to not just peel it off like an animal. All right, there we go. Now I'll peel it off like an animal. It's easier than trying to dig my finger in and trying to grab it. All right. So let me know, what color would you have chosen, whether you're in the live chat or in the regular chat down below? Black, silver, 16-bit, aka gray with Skittles buttons, orange or light purple? And would you have gone for the D-pad up top, or would you have gone for the D-pad down below? Okay, one of the things I do like about their boxes, there's a little magnet closure here, and then I can pull it open so you can see it with me. We're watching together. Okay, so we got a little card. Okay, nothing really on it other than what the front looks like and what the front looks like. I don't know why they did that. Usually they include specs there. All right, nice foam protector. And of course we did pass QC, that's nice to see. And yes, my thumbnail is actually correct. Even though I blurred it out, I did get the gray model, or orange model, because I thought it would be nice and contrasty, and thought it would stand out really nice on the camera. Let's see what else we get. Now we get some specs. All right, so yeah, we get some specs, and then quick diagram of the device. I still think it's funny for CPU, they put gold plus, gold, silver, rather than putting Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. I don't know why they want to be fancy like that. We do get a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. We can charge up to 27 watts. We do get Wi-Fi 7 with Bluetooth 5.3, USB-C version 3.1 with a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Of course, a TF/micro SD card. And just as a reminder, they use TF because micro SD means SanDisk, and technically micro SD is trademarked by SanDisk, so TF is the generic name. DisplayPort 4K up to 60 Hz via USB-C to HDMI. Android 13, 305 grams. So yeah, okay, so for the processor, they put, really it should say like SoC, they say 8 Gen 2, but then they break down the CPU. Okay, fine. And you can see the two different configurations here, 8 gigabytes with 128 or 12 gigabytes with 256. And like I say, you can see all of the little configuration, including the memory buttons. All right, so let's move that over. Let's see here. So I can see we get a USB-C cable, and I do see a USB-A, so we get USB-A to USB-C. Not quite the longest I've had, but decently long, and it is branded Retroid Pocket. I like when AYN and Retroid do that. Is there anything else in the box? Doesn't look like it. Lots of foam to keep your device nice and safe and to keep your device nice and stable. So I can appreciate that. It's not a full-blown manual, but better than a NEO that gives us a QR code to scan. So I appreciate that. Let's just go ahead and close it back up here. All right. So we got the orange. Yeah, I got the Tech Dweeb model. But you know, they call it orange, but I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I'm already detecting some like metallic fleck here. So it actually looks really kind of nice. I can see why somebody would say it looks kind of gold, because you get the metallic fleck in here. All right, so let's take a look here. Of course, they both have 5.5-inch screens that are 1080p. The difference being this maxes out at 60 frames per second, or 60 hertz, and this does 120. So and they are both OLED, so OLED is better in that regard. Okay, it is a little bit taller. And like I say, you do get, oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to smack you around like that. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but the thumbstick, the shoulder triggers are definitely bigger on the new one. The vent is a little bit, it's a little bit narrower, but it's a little bit wider by the looks of it. Get a little bit of a texture here with Retroid Pocket branding here versus down here like that. You can see the air exhaust. This is the intake versus this is the exhaust, and this is the intake. All right, what else we got? Okay, looks very similar, probably reused these buttons, which again, not a bad thing. You can see better here. This is definitely a longer bumper compared to this. This one ends here. I'm trying to make it visible, but it's not the easiest with my current configuration. Sorry about that. Okay, and then let's see here. Again, similar, but different. This is different. Now, one thing I wanted to point out about this. I talked about it in a previous video, but I just wanted to kind of emphasize how nice this part is. And again, I don't know if the RP6 is going to be the same way, but here is a really good device. I am not trying to body shame this device by any means. It's a really good device. This is the ANEO Pocket Air Mini, but the thing is, this comes on a flat cable, so you can't really move it out of the way. It's really kind of a pain in the tuchus, as some would say. Whereas this, when I was taking this off, I was like, oh, I love you, Retroid. So Retroid makes it where theirs just spins around and then goes back in. That's the way it should be. Not on a flat cable that you fight to get out of the way to get your micro SD card in. Should be nice and easy like this. So fingers crossed that they carried that over to the RP6. I'd be surprised if they didn't, but I digress. Let's find out. Did they carry it over? Yes, they did. Look at that. Look at that. That's just a thing of beauty. It's so simple, but so nice. Let's see here, Brainbeat. Anything else? Purple. Yeah, I thought about purple too, but since I had already pre-ordered this guy and it was close enough to purple, I wanted to kind of step away. And how often do you get an orange device? So I decided to go for, and because you get the contrasting buttons, I decided to go this way. Now the D-pad looks the exact same. Analog sticks look similar to what they were. The face buttons look the same too. Yes, I did get the 12 gigabyte model. It looks a little bit green. Interesting. Yeah, definitely not green in person. But like I say, the nice thing is, if you don't want these low profile sticks, just pop them off, put on the new ones. There you go. Now I have high profile sticks. I mean, I understand if you're going to be putting it in your pocket, but let's see here if I can't get it on. There we go. There we go. Now, might be a little bit too high because now my finger's kind of hitting them. So I'll have to decide what way I want to go. But we do get options, and I'm glad we get options. All right, so let's just go ahead and take that and give it the little spin to get them in place again. Okay, beautiful. All right, so I did say I got the color matching one. So let's break out the Pijo special again, one last time tonight. Hopefully they did send me the right one. And they did. All right, beautiful. All right, so it's, like I said, feels nice already, just like the RP5 does without its grip case. It feels nice, but put it into the grip case, and now it feels like the Odin 3. It feels even better. And these new, improved, large shoulder buttons are really, really nice. Let me see. There you go. You can really see here, I think, how much bigger they are. But yeah, so it feels really good. Now let's see. Since I ordered this together, you would hope that this will accommodate this. Oh, nope. Yeah, see, with the Thor Brainbeat, they have two different versions of the case. One for the grip case and one without the grip case. Apparently, here they only have the one without a grip case. So, wah, wah, wah. Our hopes have been dashed. I have to take off the grip case anytime I want to put this in. That's a shame. Now, if we look at our grip cases, though, this, you can tell, is smooth. This has a texture to it. All right. So this kind of gives it a little extra grippiness to it. Interesting, interesting. All right, so the points they earned for having a nice case, they lost a point or two for not having one that's specifically designed for the grip case. Yeah, if you're getting a projector for $100 in Oz, that's fair to say. All right, so let's grab the micro SD, aka TF card, that was in my RP5. Now, let's see. Remember, 90% of Chinese handhelds, for some reason, have you put the sticker side down. Let's see if this guy is the same way. Yes, he is. Sticker side down. I don't understand that, but it is what it is. So let's give her her first power on. Now, like I say, this is an OLED panel, so it does have beautiful blacks. One thing I'm kind of surprised by is the bundle that I bought. And again, this didn't come with the bundle, it was just $3 extra, so I threw that in. But I'm surprised it didn't include a screen protector. Thought I had felt the vibration of it turning on. No? I felt vibration again. Is it dead? If it is, I'll plug it in. I felt 2 vibrations there. All right. So let me just grab my handy dandy cable. That's plugged into my computer here. And this is the one that came with my last device here, the Anbernic RG477V. That's like a good 5-foot cable, a good 150, 1.5 meters. Come on. Give it CPR. Clear. Clear. Now it's not even vibrating. Very strange. All right, let me see if I can't get it jump started with my wireless charger. Since I do have a Vivo, I have a 50-watt fast wireless charger that should adapt itself to the 27 watts of this guy. Give it a few moments, shall we? Okay, I see the screen coming on, but now the cable's too long, and yeah, it looks like the battery was completely dead, which is kind of strange because it's such a new device. So I guess I'll have a drink here. All right, so we're going to use that 50-watt charger for a moment. While you let me know, what do you think? Retro gray with Skittles buttons and the transparent shell, or do you think I should have kept on the retro gray to give it a cohesive look? I like to see the insides. I like transparency. That's why I got the purple Thor, for example. And I like being able to see the speaker or I guess that'd probably be the rumble there, and the cables that run to it. The fan, I like to be able to see that spinning around whenever I want to. So I think the clear shell looks really cool. But let me know what you think. Is what that flat? The battery dead flat-wise? Yes, it is that dead apparently. Kind of surprising since it's a brand new device. Whereas I bought this 6 months after it came out, and so goodness knows when it was made, but it had juice from the beginning. But apparently this one does not have juice from the beginning. And Ethan asking a great question, Brain Beats. So we'll give that a couple minutes here while I move stuff around. Again, I feel that's a miss, that if you're selling the bundle, it should include that. But apparently, the case is not like the Thor's case where it's designed for it. Whereas, like I say, the Thor, they had both cases. Just if you bought the bundle, naturally included the one for that. And let me know, which one do you think is most attractive at least? Purple, gray, or black lanyard? So we'll move these into my crate cupboard of storage for the moment. All right. Uh, 32-inch brain beat. I can't remember the last time I had a 32-inch TV. Seems like a long time ago. Luckily, Miss Pijo is a sweetheart, and she let me, because I'm the tech savvy one and she's not, she let me pick out the TVs I wanted. So in our living room downstairs, I have a 65-inch, and upstairs in our bedroom we started off with a 75-inch, but that had an issue, so TCL replaced it under warranty and upgraded us to an 85-inch. So basically our entire wall of our room is an 85-inch TV, which is great for when we're watching The Flash or I'm playing PlayStation 5. It looks absolutely great. Let's get that back up. All right. So I'm going to give it another at least couple moments here to get some 27-watt juice before we bring it in and plug it back into the slower charger that's connected to my computer's USB-C port. 32-inch in your bedroom. Wow. Back when I had a 32-inch, the last time I had a TV that small, I think was 2008, or no, 2010 in Santiago, Chile. I think we had a 32-inch then. Could be wrong. I had a 27-inch before that when I lived in Miami in 2008. From like 2003 to 2008, I had a 27-inch in my bedroom. It had side-mounted speakers. So it felt a lot bigger. And I got that when I lived with my brother. Yeah. But back then I wore glasses, so I needed bigger screens. Now I had LASIK last year, so I don't need 85-inch screens anymore, because even 85-inch from our bed without my glasses on, it would have been blurry. But that's because I was blind as a bat before LASIK. Anytime I'd go to get my eyes checked, the doctor would be like, take off your glasses and read the lowest line that you can. And I'd be like, excuse me, look, I know the top one is E. It's always E. But to me, it's too blurry to even make out the E. So then they'd be like, okay, well, put on your glasses, read what you can, and then I'll use the machine to read what your current prescription is, and we'll work backwards from there to see if you need new glasses. Yes, it's not an OLED, but it is a mini LED TV. It was the top of the line TCL TV. So that's why they upgraded me, because they no longer had that same model in 75 at the time, so they upgraded us to 85. The one caveat was the 75-inch was a 8K TV, and then they stopped doing 8K TVs, so they dropped us down to 4K, which is why I was able to convince them. I was like, look, you can't drop me down to 65. You're already asking me to drop from 8K to 4K resolution. So the least you can do is bump me up 10 more inches to your top of the line now 85-inch. And they're like, okay, that's a fair argument. We'll do it. So it was awesome. Nice. I imagine lounge room is the Aussie word for living room. Because that's what you do. You do most of your living or most of your lounging in that room. So both words make sense. All right. It's been enough time, hopefully. Let me grab my charger, put it back over here. Thank you, Vivo, for providing fast chargers for my phone and cables on demand when I need them. All right, so let's grab this cable again. So she's receiving some juice from the USB-C port, and it is a USB 4 port, so I mean it's not It's not some low port. But see, now when I plugged it in, I'm getting that. I wasn't getting that before, so I'm getting more than I was before. See if I can't turn it on. I felt the vibration. Come on, Retroid Pocket 6, RP6. Make this video be interesting. So, there we go. RP6, Retroid Pocket 6. All right, welcome to the RP6. Let's see here. There we go, kind of a spot right there, but we can move around from the pot lights in the ceiling. All right, yes, I'm glad we get a bunch of English or language options, land settings. See, just like the RP5, one of the nice things I like is that they do offer dual band Wi-Fi, dual Wi-Fi connecting. So that's always a really nice feature to have. So I have two 5G networks here, so I can connect to both, and that way they are, if one gets weak and the other one is stronger, they can take over or can download apps more quickly. I wish more companies like AYN, I wish they would take advantage of that as well. Okay, and then dual band. Let me find my other dual band here. Okay, so one of the things is it'll let me connect to one 5G network, but it won't let me connect to two 5G networks. It'll let me do one, which is a Wi-Fi 6. You can tell it's a Wi-Fi 6. It's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, that says Wi-Fi 6. But then you can do 2.4. So we'll do 2.4 also, I guess. That's fine. Still better than not having it. Okay, now you can see here I have the master Wi-Fi, which is a 5G network, and the other one all good to go. There we go. Open time zones. I am not in USA, as some of my students back in Chile would have said. They would have said USA. So it is what it is. Let's see here, Thailand. I have 12% battery at the moment. All right, beautiful. Oh, I just wanted to, I forgot to do that, to actually compare this part. So yes, you can see this part all quite similar. Even the microphone there, all quite similar. It's just down to, of course, like say the design that they originally had buttons down here to make it even a little bit wider. But people were like, no, I don't like these rectangular buttons. I like these circle buttons. I liked having the distinction between the RP5 and the RPG2 versus the RP6, but people did not. So their votes won. But we did at least get options for which way we want the D-pad and analog stick to be. I still went with this because I prefer it, but I know everyone's different, so I'm glad we get the option. All right. Bringing it back down. Back down, I say. Down. There we go. All right, so beautiful. Let's go back. Time settings, Thailand. Yes, 7:44. It is 7:44. Okay, good. Enable Google Play services. Yes, and play Google Play stores. Now, it will allow you. This is one of the nice things that they offer that not everyone offers. Is if you are new to retro gaming, they do offer the option to have all of these different emulators pre-installed on your device. So I appreciate that we get these options. I really do. But for me, I prefer Obtainium, so I say no thank you. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Which one do you want? The Retroid launcher or vanilla Android? I prefer vanilla Android. Nah, plasma. When I lived with my brother and I bought that 27-inch TV, my brother bought a plasma. You know, back then plasmas couldn't be beat. They were the OLEDs of the day. The only thing is they were extremely heavy, but they had the best blacks of any TV up to OLED because of all the plasma, because it had the phosphors in it that really allowed the blacks to really pop. But those beasts were heavy. Like my brother, I think it was a 42-inch TV back then, and that thing was over 100 kilos, over 220 pounds. So it took both of us bringing it home from Costco. But I remember living with him when he bought that, and then I ordered on the TV in the U.S. because it was in Florida. In QVC, they offered the TV, and I was like, that's what I need. I can get that for my PlayStation 3 that's about to come out. So I got it. Configuration complete. Okay, I like that because I got the orange one. I get kind of a sunset. I don't know if the others get the sunset look, but I like that sunset look. Do we get the app drawer? We do get an app drawer, but whew, that is bright. You know me, I don't like that. Let's see if they have a quick toggle for dark mode and light mode. Let's turn on analog sticks. Let's take a look here too. All right, so I don't know how to do that, but let's see here. Retro, Xbox style, do 120 hertz. So quick, easy changes. You can tap to change your performance mode, your fan mode. Charging limit, let's see here. So again, 9 volt, 2 amps, up to 80. You can do, and that slows down after 80%. 80% charge limit period, or charge slow at the 5 volts, 2 amps. So we'll choose the 9 volt, 3 amp charging speeds. What else we got? We got some floating icons, quick snapshot capabilities, keep screen on. So that'd be good for that. Dark mode on, yes. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that we have that for a quick action. I agree, Ethan, 100%. And look at that, nice and easy through the quick action menu. You don't even need to go into the proper settings to pull it off. All right, we're still charging. We're at 15% now. I don't know if you can tell, but. All right, so that's good. All right, I like that. To quote Jim Carrey, I like it a lot. All right, so that's good. Yes, I'm a nerd. If you haven't known that already, yes, I'm a gigantic nerd. Add an account. All right, let's add an account. Probably need my phone for that too, for two-factor authentication. So I'll get my phone out of my pocket here while it's checking info. Could go a little bit quicker, not gonna lie. So this is it's a little bit thicker. Obviously they need more heat dissipation capabilities for the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 than they did the Snapdragon 865. So if you're not familiar with Qualcomm chips, they had the 865 that was in this, which you can get some PS3 and some Secret Console games working on this. So it's still a powerful CPU. But then they had the 888. Then they moved up to a new generation, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1/8 plus Gen 1, and then they had the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. So this is 3 generations ahead of this. And like I say, it was a generational leap when they switched to the 8 Gen versions. So this is actually probably about 3 or 4 times more powerful than this in all actuality. All right, enter. Well, we got contact at Phoenix Handhelds. All right, so yes, you can reach me on that email if you really want to. The best way to reach me, join the Discord server. In the description, I have a link to the Discord server. So that's the best way, because you can get real-time communication with me. And people like Ethan and Brainbeat are there, and they're awesome as well. Okay, so now it's asking me for my password. So give me 1 second here. Go with that one. All right, so excuse me while I put in my password here. Okay. Okay. 2FA, 1 second. All right. My wife is in her hometown with Dominic. She sent me a picture of Dominic today. Anybody want to see a picture of or a video of Dominic today? Let's see here. While we're waiting for that, it didn't want to accept that for some reason. Let me try again. Let me know. I imagine Ethan will say yes. But for the sake of argument, while I'm getting logged in, I'll let you guys choose if you want to see the cutest part of P-Nick, which is not P-Nick. It is P Pumpkin, aka P Dominic. Or he'll be your big brother too. Because P means big brother or big sister. Yes, sync those on up. Glad to see it says my stream is going healthily. And it says there are other people here. So if you're here, feel free to say hi, guys. Don't be shy. That's what this is all for, is for all of you. Okay. I got your brain beat as far as all that goes. All right. All right, I'm not even going to comment on that. Okay, so let's go Obtanium, because this was before I started adding Obtanium onto my device itself. All right, Obtanium. Now I install it on the micro SD card so I can swap it on devices, but I had figured this micro SD card would only be in a Retroid Pocket device. I guess Ethan must have stepped away because he didn't take the chance to check out the video of Dominic. That's all right. I can send it to you later, buddy. Okay, so they got all kinds of them here. So we just need the standard APK. So ARM64 should be the one we want. Let's go ahead and put that on the micro SD card. See, there's even storage space that I could have added more games. Just didn't think about it. Because on the RP5, I put my PS3 games on the device itself, so they get the fastest possible storage. Wow, look at that. 23 megabytes done in seconds. I like that. Settings, yes. Give it permission, yes. Install it, yes. Open it, yes. Allow, yes. Okay, okay. As Dominic would say, okay. Even if it's not something he wants, he doesn't understand yet, so he says okay to everything. Okay. You want to go to bed? Okay. Turn off the lights. Ah. But Dominic, you said okay. All right, Obtanium, JSON. Not the name Jason, JSON. JSON. Oops, wrong one. Obtanium, JSON. JSON. There you go. latest release. So see here, you can add Melon DS dual screen if you want to. Obviously, I could, because I have the dual screen add-on. That should work. But, what do you think I should do? Dual screen or not dual screen? I don't think I'll use dual screen all that often, because I have the Thor for that. But since we will do a little bit of a comparison for the sake of brain beat, I'll do the dual screen add-on. So that has been added, and then we'll add to that the Melon DS version. Add the raw JSON. Yes, continue. All right. And then we go import, Obtainium import. And then we come over here and we go, not sure what that screenshot is, but that's all right. And then we go RP6, or no, not RP6, RP5 micro SD card. Download Obtainium emulation pack. There we go. We got that. Now, the other thing, I don't know. Let's take a look here. Charging. Can I change that to charging and file transfer? File transfer, please. All right. It's still charging, so that's good. All right, I have my trusty mouse here. Let me see if I can't quickly do this while I have it here. Let's go over here. And if you're curious what I am doing, I am actually grabbing my logo to put on the background, the wallpaper. So we'll copy that. And remind me, I need to move some stuff from my hard drive on my laptop over, but that's all right. And then internal storage, yes, and DCIM, sure. Paste that. There we go, got that. All right, so we got that. I don't need to change it, but let's just see here. Wallpapers from the gallery should be there. There we go, DCIM. Yes. There we go, hey! Look at those good-looking fellas, huh? Actually, let's just try to change that up, though, always. DCIM, that one. It's a little bit better. I could still finagle it a bit. It's moving over side by side, but there we go. All right. So really, I don't need that, so let's get rid of that. Okay, good. All right, so let's go back to Obtainium now that I plastered myself on the device itself. Yes, they are. That is for sure. So we can download Azahar to, oh yes, give it permission. Yes, please. Install APS3E. Okay. Which one do we want? We want Azahar Vanilla. So this is the nice, again, if you're new and you're not familiar with why am I bothering with this JSON file or whatever it's called and this Obtainium application, the reason for that is simple. Then let me explain. The reason for that is because this acts like the Google Play Store. Most of these are not on the Google Play Store. By that, I mean that it acts like the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Those storefronts will check your apps to see if there's an update to it. And if there is an update to it, then they will be happy to update it or tell you there's an update with this application. So that's the advantage. Whereas if I, for example, download Citra from their website, Citra MMJ, great. But if there's an update, I won't know there's an update unless I go back to their website, check the version, check what I have, and update it. So this just makes it so much easier to do all of that. Okay. I mean, do I really need Dolphin? Probably not. If you watched my video, my short-term review, I used the Dolphin emulator built into RetroArch. And again, if you're new, RetroArch is one of the things that you want to have, because RetroArch, it has a lot of emulators built in, so you don't need a lot of these unless you have specific things like Eden that you want. Eden for the secret console. I'll just tell you that secret console, if you're not familiar, is the one from the company that begins with an N that has the sides that can be removed, and it can be a tablet if you want it to be. Yeah, let's do. See, oh, nightly. I don't need nightly. Let's just do regular DS mode of Melon. So yeah, you just start kind of playing around with stuff and you learn what you need, what you don't. Same thing with Flycast. I don't think I'll need it because the one that's actually built into RetroArch is really great. But in case I get any compatibility issues, the standalone app is usually more capable. Nether SX2, again, great for PS2, for example. So you can see I have pretty good home Wi-Fi. All of these are downloading pretty darn quick. You can see the download progress bar. PPSSPP. I like how they clearly didn't try copying PSP to tell you what they are an emulator of. There we go, there's our RetroArch that we want. Again, yes, the one from Retroid had it, but again, if you update it, or if you download it from there, it won't necessarily tell you that this has an update because it's not linked to this. But you see, it's quick and easy. And you can tell which ones you've downloaded because they have icons versus the ones that don't have an icon, like our PCSX here. That's another PS3 emulator. Hasn't its own icon yet. So it doesn't have its own. Now it does because I've just downloaded it. Beta 3K, yes please. All right. Cocoon FE. It's kind of an interesting front end. I appreciate it. It's in beta. So it's not part of the general release, but it's not a general release yet, but it's still pretty darn stable from what I've used. Daijishu. I like having options. So we're just getting everything. Isu. Another one that you can see version 0.0.5, very early build, but they've made it fairly stable already. Yeah, I mean, I think you'll be surprised by how well you can do PS3 on the Thor Rainbeat. All right, so Pegasus, we'll do a couple more here. They all have a slightly different look and feel. I still prefer ESDE, Emulation Station Desktop Edition, Android 64, because we do use 64-bit version of Android. The 32-bit of Android was years ago. Retro Harai I used on my most recent video too. Nice. I think that's how you say it, Harai, if I had to guess. All right. So if you're not familiar, GameHub Lite and Game Native both allow you to download games onto your device from your Steam library. It's not going to be 100% of your Steam library, but the Steam library uses my mind just went blank. The drivers for the GPU that Snapdragon has. So you get better compatibility than you do on my last device, on the 8300 based device by MediaTek, because MediaTek doesn't use the Adreno drivers because they have their own type. All right. trying to remember which one I should go with. I can't remember. I think Antutu. It'll tell us if it doesn't like it. Let's just see here. I think Antutu gives us storage option. Yes. It wouldn't allow me to download it. It'll stop you if it doesn't like it. So, hey, Venti Libre, welcome. Glad you're here. Just going over the initial setup process of Retroid's latest device, the RP6, in this beautiful orange colorway that has kind of metallic flecks inside of it to make it really appealing. And of course I have the grip case. I've done a comparison already of the RP5 versus this and gone over the accessories that I got with it, like the case. Sadly, the case, you cannot use the grip case with it. It's not designed for it. I feel that's a bit of a miss, but what do I know? I'm just a consumer like you and I, like you, so. Hey, Apportionated, welcome. Yeah, it's the RP6. So the RP6 in orange, in all of its orange glory. And then we have Winlater, CMod, Winlater, Landashi, Winlater. So that's if you want to stream your PC games from your PC and then have it fed onto your device. So your PC is there. You got that. You got Artemis and Moonlight. So yeah, I think that's also storing on it. I've never used them. And even though I have an RTX 4090 in my laptop that I'm using right now, I've never streamed my PC games either. So the nice thing is Obtainium emulation pack. It'll tell you if it's been updated. It won't let you get you a new JSON file here, but it does give you the link that you can just click on that and get the latest. Same thing with the turnip drivers. It's not going to update your turnip drivers for you because oftentimes you might want different turnip drivers for different things, but you can click on that link and then you can come in here and grab yours. So this is the most recent for the version 840, so I'm guessing that's probably, it should work since the Adreno is a 7 series here, so it should work for this one, for like PS3 and Secret Console and all of those fun things. All right, so we got that. Bifrost, I don't know what Bifrost is. I'm guessing it's a benchmark because it says Moon Bench, but I don't know. CH Droid, MU Ready Lite, ESD Android apps, okay, ESDE companion app, Odin tools, which generally Odin tools will work on anything with like a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, so in theory it should work there. SyncThing, if you're not familiar with SyncThing, SyncThing allows you to sync your progress across multiple devices. So every Android device you get in some Linux-based devices will have SyncThing, so you can log in, and as long as that game is present in your library and you saved it with using SyncThing previously, when you get on a new device, it would automatically carry that save over onto your new device. So I've never used it, but that's how it works. Yes, I think the orange color with the contrasting black looks really sharp. Venti Libre. Okay, and then same thing for Obtainium. It'll tell you if there's an update to it. So lots of goodies there that we can obviously take advantage of. So we got a couple over here. We got a bunch of emulators over here. Retroid launcher now too. Obtainium, APS3, blah, 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 blah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. RPCSX for PS3, Cocoon. All right, so RetroArch. Yes, you do need that permission, my friend. All right. All right, so speaking of this device, I'm going to use my mouse here again behind the scenes. Forgive me, fellas. Forgive me, guys. I am going to come over here And then I want to grab, where did I put my BIOS folder? It's always good to grab the BIOSes that you need. And if you're curious about this whole setup process, I actually created this whole setup process for the Discord. So there is a channel in the Discord for that. So if you're not familiar with it, you should jump on the Discord and go through the walkthrough process if you so wish. And then we want this device. Of course, now it's going to show it blank. Why are you showing it blank now? Still supposed to be for charging. Let me just try changing it. See, it switched from file transfer off file transfer. I don't know why, but that's what it did. All right, so we have that. And then let me go back to my folder. All right, this PC. Internal storage. RetroArch. And then system, if I remember correctly, and then we can paste my BIOS in. Okay, so just give it a moment to do that. So yeah, if you guys are curious, the ones that just joined us. So while that is doing that, let me minimize that so I can see what I'm doing. Here is the RP5 versus the RP6. You can see quite similar. The RP6 is a little bit thicker, but they both have 5.5-inch screens. This has 1080p at 60 hertz. This has 1080p at 120 hertz. This has the Snapdragon 865. The RP6 now has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5. This had 8 gigabytes of RAM. This I bought. They do have an 8 gigabyte model, but I went with the 12 gigabyte model. So all of that fun stuff. But yeah, you can. And the nice thing is, I prefer the analog sticks on the bottom parallel to each other because I'm a PlayStation guy. But they did make it available so you can choose whether you get the left analog stick on the bottom or on the top. Again, not for me, but I'm glad we get that option because customizability, personalizability, if you watch any of my videos, you know is super important to me. So I'm glad we get that option so you can have the design that you want that's comfortable to you. I think these buttons look, they're about the same. I think these buttons are basically the same. I still prefer. Their original version had 4 rectangular buttons back here, which would have been the back home and then the programmable M1, M2 buttons that this did not have, but people didn't like those rectangular buttons, so they moved M2, M1 on the back. I've never used them, but I just thought it kind of looked cool, made it look retro having the buttons down below. But again, I was in the minority, so it is what it is. Okay. I think that was the right place. All right, so let's move you away. All right. So Cocoon, I haven't used Cocoon yet. Let's try Cocoon. Welcome to Cocoon. All right, well, thank you. I'm a caterpillar, apparently. For best experience, I recommend that you set Cocoon as your default launcher. I appreciate that. Press home while focused on the screen, bottom screen, to bring it to the second screen if it disappears. Okay, nice. We're going to skip that for now, though. Track your play and detect when games close. Cocoon needs permission to view app usage. Yes, go ahead. Time to set up. All right. Okay, time to set up. Where can I put Cocoon's data on your device? Yes, great question, Cocoon. Let's have you put it in Let's have you put it in download. Since I don't use download for anything, I use it on the card itself. Box art. We'll call it box art. Use this folder, Cocoon. All right. Okay, set up logins. I don't have SteamGrid DB APK. Oh, no, I do, don't I? I think I could grab it from my thingy. Okay, I think I remember. Hold on. Let's see if that is correct. Is it going to tell me if I'm correct? No, it's not. All right, let me just check my phone here for the Steam Grid part of it. If it's not easy, I'm not going to fiddle with it, but I just want to see if it is easy. Okay. Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, it's not quick and easy. So we're going to skip over that for now. We'll get back to that later. I prefer Screen Scraper anyhow. So we'll go with that for now. Okay, sure, go ahead. Downloading. Oh, okay, hi, Cryive official. Yeah, I could see your point there since you have the black buttons. Give you kind of the contrast and kind of go with the buttons and to give you a nice contrasty look. I could see that. I could see that would look pretty good too. Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier. I mean, not only they have 5 different colors, Venti Libre, 5 different colors, and like the one will have Skittles buttons and all of that. So that's all got to change. And then you have the D-pad on top or on bottom, and then you have 8 gigabytes of RAM with 128 gigabytes of internal storage, or 12 gigabytes of RAM with 256 gigabytes of internal storage. So there's lots of variations that they made for this device. For such a small company, I don't even know how they were able to handle the production for this, honestly. Organize games into a smart folders by platform. Okay, sure, you can do that. Let's choose my adventure. Cocoon, thanks. You need all access. Okay. Grant access, sure. I don't know if you'll be able to see my micro SD card yet, still, but tell you where my folders live. Sure, you can. I'll tell you where they all live. Not in box art though. They're on the micro SD card. Right here is where they live. Allow. Okay, we'll let that go. While that is scanning, just because he is super cute, and I'm sure Ethan does want to see him. So while this is going to take a moment, this was taken today of my son Dominic, being the cute little guy he is. He is almost 2 years, 1 month, so he's still fairly young here. All right, there he is. Trying to dance to music. I'm not going to play the music in case it's copy protected, but there he is. You can see that going in the background here. Little cute little bugger. Mommy and Daddy's little prince. All right, so we're scanning files here slowly but surely. You can see it, seeing all of my ROMs here. Like I said, I've never used Cocoon before, so I'm trying this live with you for the first time, so you can experience what I'm experiencing. Let me get some more of my Sing's red lemon soda, aka it tastes like orange pop really, even though they call it red lemon. I don't know why, but it tastes pretty darn good. He sure is a handsome boy. He takes after his mama. He definitely doesn't take after his daddy. and trust me, the girls love him. When we bring him to church, he's the most popular person at church. And my wife is Thai, and as you can see, he doesn't look quite Thai. So when she's out alone with him, like at a mall, if I'm working or sleeping or something like that, since I've been working overnights, people will actually directly ask her, "Where's the mother?" And when she says, "I'm the mother," and they're like, "No, where's the real mother?" She's like, "No, I gave birth to him. He's really mine." And she's actually seen people like follow her to the parking lot to see if we had like a car seat in the car to make sure that she really was the mother and not just someone that kidnapped a child at the mall or at the grocery store. People are funny. I appreciate their worry for the child's safety, but he is definitely perfectly safe with his mother. Much safer with his mother than he is with his father. I'll say that. He's got a great mama because I have a great wife and I got lucky there. Let's see here. But yeah, guys, remember, the more you comment, the less ads there will be on the stream. So it's looking for time that there's less interactivity if it plays an ad. So, you know, even if you're like, I love the RP6, I love the RP6, you'll get less ads than if you're not saying anything. yeah, Venti Libre, that's what my wife thinks too. It's weirdly nice. Strange that they don't believe that she's the mother when she says she's the mother. But either way, you know, at least they're looking out for the child's well-being. So yeah, this is obviously taking some time. Scanning and hashing ROMs. So be prepared. It can take some time. I just saw one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, the original Lilo and Stitch. This is my family. It is small and broken, but it is still good. Yeah, it is good. Yes, I'm a nerd that can change his voice. But I've never hid my nerdiness from anyone. Ah, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Bougie Ethan, with your ad-free viewing. But for anyone else watching that has seen an ad, that's how you can skip the ads. The more interactive we all are with the stream, the better. So it's definitely taken its time. Sometimes it goes quicker than others, it looks like. So ESDE, the reason I'm not doing it yet is because I have to download it from the email, and the email usually takes a little bit of time once I've set up Gmail to be able to pull it. And I don't know if this is going to keep going if I minimize this. Let's just find out. Okay, we're at 25. Let's see. Okay, minimized. Let's go back. Looks like it's stopping, but let's just 26:14. Let's try that. Give it a few seconds just to see. Yep, I've got it right here. So yeah, and and I do have the Thor. So yeah, that's one thing. One of the other Discord members had asked for. Brainbeat has the Thor, so kind of do a comparison. Okay, let's see. Are we up? Hey, we are going up. All right, let's try that. I'm going to try loading Gmail from the browser rather than downloading the app because the app takes too long. So let me just try that. Gmail, aka Google Mail. Here's a good trivia question. Google. Did you know Google is accidentally misspelled? Because Google is a math term. Okay, so Google is 10 to the 100th power. And they thought, well, we'll create it Google. We'll call it Google because we will get a Google worth of results someday. The ironic thing is, so that the person's like, that's a great idea. Go get that copyrighted. Go get that trademarked. The person didn't know how to spell Google, so they spelled it the way that we spell Google today. And then the person came back like, oh, but that's not the correct way of spelling Google. So by that point, it was already too late. The website, everything was already set up that way. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Sure, you can have Google autofill too. Sure. I'm sure, why not Google? Why not? Okay, fine. Don't tell me I'm getting it stuck here. Let me just check out where we're at here. Okay, we're still going, good. That's what I like to see. So I'm not wasting anyone's time. All right. Is it logging into my email? I hate when it does that. It changes it to Thai. Log in. I told you log in previously. Yes. Log into this account. Yes. Okay, yeah, so sign in as Google. Yes, that's the one I want you to sign in as. Why won't you sign in? Gmail. I'm trying to get you to sign in. Why won't you sign in? Signed in. Okay. Yes, let me go then. You say I'm currently logged in, then go to my Gmail. Go to my Gmail. I don't know what you're saying. Yes, so go to my account. All right, fine. I'll go through the Google Play Store. You know, that takes more time. Don't ask me why it wants to be silly. One thing that surprises me is that Google allows Microsoft to, I guess, make sense that one way. For ad revenue, if you search Google or Gmail, Outlook loads first. So we will download Gmail. While that's downloading, I'm going to, I like how we can do volume up and down here. The reason they did that is so if you add the dual screen, you can still access the volume for the bottom screen. But all right, so let's go back here. And then security. Where is my security? There we go. Okay, and security lock screen, not a swipe. I wish, but it won't let it. So we will, as usual, do P for PNIC. No, I don't need to see notifications. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Let's see, 85. See, look at that, 85 megabytes because of the dual band Wi-Fi. Broop, broop. Nice and quick. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Venti Libre. Of course, the caveat is the way that it works is with the Thor, you can have 120 hertz on the top screen while you're doing 60 hertz on the bottom screen. This is only capable of 60 hertz. So even if you're doing 120 here, then your bottom screen will be 120 and this would be 60. But with the RP5, they had not figured out how to do the different refresh rates like AYN had, so 60-60. Granted, this was only 60 hertz too, so it wasn't a big deal. So I don't know if Retroid has copied AYN's mode for enabling different refresh rates, but if they have not, then it would drop it down to 60-60, whereas the AYN can have 120 on top and 60 down below. Yeah, so we'll break that out next Wednesday, Venti Libre. We'll break that out next Wednesday when I do it for the Device of the Week live stream, because this week's live stream is going to be this guy here. If I can type in or scribble in a P. There we go. Yes, I did add a screen protector. Look at that. I can add screen protectors. Just sometimes when I'm trying to do it on the camera, my hands get a little shaky, shall we say. But, so that'll be the device of this week. But I digress. Let's find out. Add an account. Yes, please. Add a Google account. Yes, please. Spinny, spinny, spinny. Yes, please. Continue. Yes, please. Continue. Yes, please. Continue. Authentication in progress. Yes, please. Thank you. Maybe later. Okay. No thanks. All right, there we go. And then let me get ESDE. Remember, ESDE costs, I believe, $6 US, and you sign up for a monthly plan, but then you can immediately cancel it. As long as you don't ask for a refund, you will stay on their mailing list, and you'll automatically get an email every time there's a new version of ESDE, which I have right here. Open. SD card, yes, save it to the SD card. Thank you. Download anyway, yes, please. I mean, as everyone knows, ESD is my favorite. All right. Install. Begin setup. Give me permissions. Yes, we can do that, of course. ESDE should be here. Yes, allow. ROMs. Back, I say. ROMs, yes. Oh, wait, let me go back. Change this one again. Thought I was on the memory card, the micro SD card. There we go, micro SD card. There we go. ROMs. Make sure, because I'm doubting myself here. RP5. There we go. Yeah, okay, 100% confident now. All right, it just wants to keep going back to the internal storage. You don't need to, but thank you. Well, actually, we'll let you. We'll let you. Why not, right? It won't do anything. Just if the text file is not there, it'll add them. Okay, so let it create those directories. For a second. Okay, beautiful. Let's go back over to my Cocoon that should be still working for us. Hey, we're all set up. All right, so interesting look to it. Obviously, it doesn't have all of my consoles here, but that's all right. And then see, it lets you choose others, so I can. Yeah, let's go back here. Okay, interesting. So I can go there. My first time using it, so I am at the whim of it. Okay, so it just recognizes it as an Android app. All right, at least it'll let me use an Android app. I appreciate that. X. Okay, so I might be able to add them there. I'm guessing that's a PlayStation button. Okay, and that's alphabetizing my games here, I think. I'm just trying to figure this out. Like I say, this is the first time I'm using Cocoon. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm liking it so far. Seems very strange, but trying to figure it out here. Appearance, theme. It is an OLED, so let's make it look beautiful. Nice and black. Okay, and then colors. Well, let's go with red, because red is my favorite color. Show icon background, sure. Wallpapers, dock style, okay, dock background. Heroes, animation settings, full screen folders. I don't know yet, but let's figure that out. Okay, interesting. Okay, it's all interesting. Okay, so you can do single screen mode. Okay, launch Android, system settings. Okay, okay. What is it trying to do? I don't know. I think it's trying to do RetroArch. Not a big fan of how that looks. Let's just try going over here. Actually, let me go back here. I can't stand that. So, I think it's... let's see here. Swap. Yes. So why are you not swapped? All right. All right. Let's see here. One of my favorite games here. Let's give this a try first. Thank you, Storytime from Reddit. I downloaded it. I haven't tried it yet, but let's see. I thought I put the BIOS where it would recognize it, but maybe not. Okay, I forgot to... That could be why the other one was having issues. Where's RetroArch? All right. Video. Vulkan. You can do threaded if you want. It's going a little bit over 120. All right, scaling. based on the y-axis, not the x. Okay, so far so good. I change that from GUI to XMB because again I am a PlayStation guy. Configuration file, save configuration, and actually before I go, let's go over here. All right. Let's turn off the swap. Okay, there we go. Turn off the swap and confirm. Let's turn that off. Okay. Menu controls, if I remember correctly. No, where is it? I think it's actually, or no, I remember now. It is hotkeys. We want to quit controller, start select. There we go. Okay, and then save the configuration. Ooh. There we go. That's much better. All right. Okay. We can fix that, but let's see here. Input, input. Menu controls. Okay, and then, okay. Okay, so configuration file, save it, save it. Saved, beautiful. All right, that's much better. Download cores. And this is where you can download all of your cores. So on the Discord server, I do have the recommended ones if you don't feel like downloading all of them. But let's just come up here first. PSP, Swan Station. Let's just get all of the PS ones here. First and foremost, okay. Exit. Let's go back to our friend over here. Let's try that. Couldn't find emulator. What do you mean couldn't find it? It's there. One of those things. All right, fine. Well, can't remember. Did I download DuckStation? Just to make it quicker and easier for us all, let me just get DuckStation. Then I'll figure out what's going on afterwards. Okay, DuckStation. Aspect ratio. I understand some people don't like or like to spread it out. 5x PS1, please. Import the BIOS. The BIOS should be, because I put it in the RetroArch, and I put it in System BIOS. Okay. And PSX. Which one? I think this is the North American one. No? This one. It's not showing me, is it? No. That's Japan, I think. Okay, yeah, we got that. That's the one we want. So okay, well I got 3 regions. So that's good. Game directories, then game directories will come back onto the micro SD, into ROMs, and into PSX, which again drives me nuts. If you've watched any of my videos, you know why. Because there is a special edition of the PS2 with a cable tuner and DVR functionality. Again, PS2. That was called the PSX, right on the device itself. So calling PS1 PSX is sloppy in my opinion. That's okay, we'll skip over that. Complete setup. All right, there we go. But of course, it doesn't see all of my games. No, that's fine. Let's do Ridge Racer. Just as a test. And then let's come up here, controls, touchscreen, none. Get rid of all of the buttons, please. Okay. And then we'll do perform automatic binding. Yes, please. Just to make sure it's all beautiful. Which can be per game. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Sure. Save it. Standard. Great. There we go. Namco. Good old Namco. Actually, let me come up here because it probably didn't. Just make sure everything looks good. Yep, 5x resolution. All right, fine. We'll try the widescreen hack. See if that works. I don't know if it will. Progressive, yes. They had some music going back in the day, so. Okay. Of course, taking its sweet time to get going here for us. Thing to remember too is the original PS1 did not include analog sticks. That wasn't until I believe 97 or 98 that they started adding analog sticks. All right, let's go automatic, just because it's easy. Qualifying position, all right. Start. It doesn't look like I can turn off the audio. Let me know down in the comment section below. Are you a a fan of seeing the car if you're doing a racing game, or do you like first-person view? For some reason, even though I've driven since I was 12 in the cornfield, I always preferred racing games when I can actually see the car. I know some people say I'm crazy, but that's just me. If I thought I could drift, but apparently not in this one. Must be a future one. Aye. Whoa, okay, apparently I can drift, I just didn't do it properly the first time. Wish I could just turn off the music so I could just hear the car. You can probably still hear the music, and hopefully I don't get copyright striked. What do you think? What do you guys think? 5x integer scale of PS1. How does it look? I think it looks pretty good for PS1. Let the car rear end me. Can't damage me. It's all right. It's funny how a lot of current games will make you race faster if you drift, and this one you lose speed if you drift, or drift through the turns. Whoa. Like I say, guys, if you're seeing any ads because you don't have YouTube Premium, just keep saying stuff in the chat, because the more interactive the chat is, the less ads you'll get. So I got third place. So because I already had my ROM collection from the RP5 that I put in here, you know, it still would have taken me a good 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get up and running with everything the way I would want it to be. And it's still not exactly how I want it to be, because it's still not seeing my BIOS file folder for some reason. So I have to figure that part out. But in the interim, I think 5X PS1 looks pretty sharp. Obviously not as good as PS2 or PS3, but for PS1 looks really sharp. On this 1080p 120 hertz refresh rate screen. I like that the lights turn on and off for a PS1 game. I think that's pretty cool. The live stream has been going for almost 2 hours, so I'm not going to keep everyone here too much longer. But I want to know from you guys, is there anything else that you want to see before we call an end tonight's live stream? Just as a reminder, I already mentioned it earlier, but in case you joined later and you're here now, this is not the device of the week. I'll be playing with this for 2 weeks. The device of the week is the Aeneo Pocket Vert. So the live stream on Wednesday will be for this device, and the short-term review will be for this device. And then next week, I'm hoping, let me explain, because I had planned my Battle Royale to be today, recorded today for today. But this week, I had an issue with my computer that I spent 8 hours. If you don't know, I have a 34-inch monitor that I work primarily from on my left-hand side. My laptop has a 16-inch screen as its primary screen, and I think it's a 14.2 if I remember correct. I could be wrong in that number, but I believe it's 14.2-inch diagonal screen. Below that, that's part of my laptop. The Asus Zephyrus Duo 16. So, you know, I have an RTX 4090 and all that jizzy jazzy, which makes editing great. But for some reason, my bottom screen was blank. I could see the backlight lighting up, but it was blank. And my 34-inch screen was mostly like green static for almost 8 hours. I did everything I could think of to get rid of it. So it took me about 8 hours. And before I did a factory reset, because I knew that'd be the next step that tech support would ask me to do, I went in and signed up for Windows Insiders and went to the most recent Insiders build. And when I did, everything worked normally. But 8 hours of trying later. So the day that I was going to work on creating all of the things I needed for the Battle Royale, creating all of the scores and the script for it after work, because that happened during my workday, I was just done. My mind was mentally drained from trying to figure out how to get my computer back. So that got pushed back. So assuming everything goes normally this week, the Battle Royale will be next Sunday night. So I apologize if you tuned in to see that, but that's why I just didn't have the mental energy to be able to make it. So I hope you all understand that part of it. But like I say, just like the RP5, it feels good without the grip case, but honestly, it takes it to a whole nother level when you have the grip case, just kind of, because it pushes your hand out a bit when you hold on to it, versus you can see this kind of would have your hand in, kind of pushes it out into a more comfortable position. Your wrist and everything is more comfortable than it is like this. It's more comfortable popped out. So it feels really good. It feels like the AYN Odin 3, even though it's a little bit smaller, because this is 5.5 inches and the Odin 3 is 6 inches. So during the live stream for this next Wednesday, we will do a comparison of some games. Brainbeat, that's your homework. Let me know what games you want to see played between the two handhelds. You know, to see if we can see any discernible. I'll try putting up frame rate, FPS, and everything on it. But let's try to see what we can compare the Thor to this. See which one is better. On a single screen or dual screen game, obviously, we'd have to set it to probably 60 frames because this is only capable of 60. But the Thor, it's easy enough to set that to 60, so that's okay. If we want to go that route. I'm just trying to think. If you're not already a member of the Discord server, join the Discord server. Link in the description, because then you can make suggestions. Like this was suggested by Ethan. Ethan knew what I already had, and he said, you know, I'd love to see how this handles and compare it to the performance for like PS3 and whatnot on the device I just reviewed, the RG477V. Of course, I already have had this SoC in a few different devices, like the Odin 2 Portal, like the Thor, but this is supposed to be the most optimized version, supposed to get a little bit more. So, you know, instead of doing a mystery unboxing, I chose to take the channel or the server members' suggestion / request, and we did the unboxing for this today. So you get direct access to me, and I would love for anyone and everyone to join the Discord server that's here, because you're obviously techie, and that would make it where hopefully you'll bring more energy to the server, ask more questions, bring some life to it, so we're all using it more often. But I can assure you, I check it multiple times every day, so if you at me on the server, I'm happy to help. And I know Brainbeat, Ethan, and Apportionated, which is Pocket.not on the server, and a few others that are there quite frequently, and they'd be happy to help if you have any questions about stuff. And like I say, I do have an Android device setup guide on its own channel within the server, so if you're new to Android handhelds, check that out. It's mainly focused on ESDE and RetroArch, but by all means, check that out. And maybe I'll create one for the other ones, like Isu and whatnot, and Cocoon, if I can get Cocoon working the way I want it to. And the other one that I tried last device here, the Retroid. That's a pretty nice one as well. And I like how it acts like you're inserting a cart into it. Like the cart almost looks like it's from the TurboGrafx kind of cart, if I remember what their carts look like. But anyways, I've already kept you 2 hours. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'm jibber jabbering now. But Venti, to answer your question, yes. Most people like to use front ends, honestly. I prefer ESDE. Retroid is really nice. Cocoon, I still have to just wrap my head around because it's new to me. The thing I like about ESDE, one, that I feel like the themes are more customizable. The look is more customizable, and it's more capable because it connects to RetroArch's various emulators, but then also it also will tie into external emulators as well. So if you want it to load, I believe you can choose DuckStation standalone, where it would just use the DuckStation standalone if you want, or you can tell it to use the one from RetroArch. So you get a lot of flexibility with ESD. And like I say, you can really change the looks of it quite a bit. But anyways, so I don't see any other particular questions. So I am not going to keep you guys for tonight, but I do want to thank you for joining me as always. Your attendance, whether live or later, is always appreciated, and so you as a person are appreciated. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the fam. I hope that you're subscribed to the channel. I hope that you sign up for the Discord server if you haven't already, because you do both of those, then you qualify for the subscriber giveaways. Ethan, thanks to Apportionated, aka Pocket.Not, one last Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, I'll do another one. Next Wednesday, I'll do another one. So you could still win this week if you sign up today. And absolutely Venti Libre. That's why customization is my favorite category on my reviews, because I think everyone should be able to customize their devices how they want, inside and out. So you loving Cocoon, I love it because it's an option for you. I love that I love ESDE. And for those that love Retroid or the other one that's on the Google Play Store, what's their name? Beacon. I love that all of them are here for us. Esu, I love that it's here for us because it gives us these options so we can make the device feel like us, you know? And that's really awesome. I mean, Linux is fine. And you can do some things, like you can get some custom firmwares, like on the Retroid, not on the Retroid, on the TrimUI Smart Pro S and the TrimUI Brickhammer. I love them, and they use Linux, their own custom build of Linux. But you can get custom firmwares that make them look a little bit different as well, and operate a little bit different. So I love that. Now, if you get one of the ones that are locked down because they're cheaper devices, like, no offense, but my Powkitty V90S, they could have done that a lot better. It doesn't even include Wi-Fi, but it's locked down. You can't change it. And some of the other cheaper ones, like the G90 that I unfortunately released the unboxing of when I didn't want to. That's locked down, so you can't really change it at all. And so I hope you like it. Whereas I love that we get these customizations. And I love that Retroid gives us button options, and so does TrimUI. Gives us options so we can change the buttons. We can change out the stick caps if we want to change out the stick caps. I love these options. Now, I would have loved to see these sticks moved in a bit, but I understand that they had to make room for the D-pad as well. But you know, if they could have scooted it in just a little bit, would have been even better. But anyways, I digress. Again, I'm jibber jabbering. It's way too long, over 2 hours now. You're appreciated. Thank you for your comments. I hope you say hi on the Discord server. You guys know on the Discord server which other devices I received. So if you want to see the device that I've been teasing for a few weeks but haven't reviewed yet, the Anbernic RG DS, or any of the other 2 devices that I received this week, which those two devices are on the Discord server, you can make that suggestion and I'll take it into consideration. Anyhow, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I look forward to talking to you on Wednesday about the Yenio Pocket Vert. So until next time, swati tuk kong krap. This has been P. Nick.